Today, we're going to be diving deep into the world of AI and exploring the story of Suchir Balaji, a young AI researcher who tragically passed away recently at the age of 26.
Oh, wow.
Yeah. He left behind a legacy of groundbreaking work at OpenAI, the company behind ChatGPT.
Yeah.
But also some very pointed concerns about the technology he helped create. In this deep dive, you'll get a glimpse into the legal battle surrounding AI development.
Interesting.
And we'll unpack some of the complex issues that Balaji raised about AI and copyright.
I see.
So, I guess to start, I think it's important to note that Balaji wasn't just another voice expressing anxieties about AI safety.
Right.
Like, he went beyond those typical warnings. He was really focusing specifically on the legal and ethical implications of using copyrighted material to train AI models.
To train the models, yeah.
So he was worried about how companies were using data to teach these AI systems.
That's exactly right.
And then whether that was even legal.
Yeah. Yes, exactly.
Okay.
He believed that fair use, the legal doctrine that allows limited use of copyrighted material without permission, doesn't adequately protect creators in the context of AI training.
Let's see.
Balaji argued that AI models, by learning from vast amounts of copyrighted data, could potentially create outputs that are very similar to or even compete with the original works.
So in essence, he was worried that AI could become so good at mimicking human creativity that it would actually harm the very artists and writers whose work it was learning from?
Precisely.
Wow.
He saw a potential scenario where AI could flood the market with content that's indistinguishable from human-created work, making it difficult for creators to earn a living and potentially stifling human creativity in the long run.
So this isn't just some theoretical debate we're having right now. Like, there are actual lawsuits happening right now.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Major media outlets, including the New York Times, are currently suing OpenAI, claiming copyright infringement. They allege that OpenAI used their copyrighted articles to train its models without permission.
Wow.
And to add to that, what makes this even more interesting is the timing.
Yeah.
Balaji was named in a court filing for one of these lawsuits.
What?
Just one day before he passed away.
Wow.
OpenAI even agreed to search his files for anything related to these copyright concerns as part of a legal compromise.
Okay, so this really puts into perspective like how central these questions were to Balaji. He wasn't just a bystander, He was right at the heart of this controversy.
Yeah.
And his concerns weren't just theoretical, they were tied to real-world legal battles.
Exactly.
With potentially massive consequences for the future of AI development.
Massive consequences.
So let's rewind a bit and talk about Balaji's background.
Sure.
He accomplished a lot in a short time.
He did.
Right?
Balaji started his journey at UC Berkeley studying computer science.
Okay.
He quickly caught the attention of the AI world, landing internships at both OpenAI and Scale AI while still a student.
Wow. So he was working on cutting-edge AI technology even before he graduated.
Yeah.
That's amazing.
Yeah.
So what exactly did he contribute to at OpenAI?
Well, he was involved in a range of projects, starting with WebGPT.
WebGPT.
An early version of what we now know as SearchGPT.
Oh, okay.
Imagine training an AI to effectively use the internet, pulling information from different websites and compiling it into a comprehensive answer to your question.
So he was working on the technology that powers the search engines of the future.
Exactly.
Wow.
He then moved on to the team responsible for preparing the massive data sets used to train GPT-4, a much more advanced version of the language model that drives ChatGPT.
Wait, so he was directly involved in the very process of feeding information to these AI models, the process he later raised concerns about.
That's right. It gave him a unique, inside-out understanding of how these models learn and the potential issues that could arise from using certain types of data, especially copyrighted material. And his contributions went beyond just data.
Oh, okay.
He also worked on the reasoning team for another OpenAI project called O1, focusing on improving the logical thinking abilities of these language models.
So he wasn't just prepping data, he was involved in making these AI systems smarter, more capable of problem solving?
Precisely.
Okay.
His expertise spanned multiple facets of AI development, giving him a comprehensive perspective.
Wow.
That makes his later concerns all the more significant.
It's amazing to think he accomplished all of this before the age of 26.
It is.
What a tragic loss.
It is.
And the outpouring of grief from his colleagues and peers across the AI community speaks volumes about the impact he made in such a short time.
It does.
Okay, so we've established that Balaji was deeply concerned about the use of copyrighted material in AI training.
Yes.
He argued that fair use might not be a strong enough defense for companies like OpenAI.
Right.
Can you explain what fair use is and why it's so crucial to this discussion?
Sure. Fair use is a legal principle that allows limited use of copyrighted material without getting permission from the copyright holder. Think of it like quoting a passage from a book in your essay, or using a short clip from a movie in a review.
Okay.
So it's about using small bits of copyrighted material for a specific purpose that doesn't harm the original creator's rights.
Right.
Exactly.
Yeah.
But when it comes to AI, things get a bit more complicated.
Yeah.
These models aren't just quoting a few lines.
Okay.
They're ingesting massive amounts of data, including entire books, articles, and code.
So the question becomes, is training an AI on copyrighted material considered fair use?
Yeah.
Especially when that AI can then potentially create outputs that compete with the original work.
That's the crux of the debate.
Okay.
OpenAI and other companies developing similar technologies argue that their use of copyrighted data falls under fair use because the AI is creating something new and transformative.
But Balaji countered that this argument falls apart when the AI can generate outputs that are nearly indistinguishable from the original copyrighted works. He saw this as a threat to human creativity.
Right.
Especially if AI systems start producing content that's indistinguishable from the work of human artists, writers, and musicians.
It's a scary thought.
Yeah.
His argument is that if AI can essentially replicate or even surpass the quality of human-created content,
Right.
what incentive do creators have to keep producing original work?
It's a chilling thought.
It is.
Imagine a world where AI writes all the books, composes all the music, and creates all the art. What happens to human expression then?
It's a big question.
What happens to the unique perspectives and experiences that shape our creative endeavors?
These are exactly the questions Balaji was wrestling with.
Yeah.
And his story brings these seemingly abstract legal concepts into sharp focus.
Right.
He was working at the forefront of AI development, grappling with these ethical dilemmas firsthand.
It's incredible how his career trajectory mirrors the evolution of these AI technologies.
It does.
He wasn't just a passive observer.
Right.
He was an active participant in shaping the field, which makes his later concerns all the more poignant.
It does.
And it's a story that raises profound questions about the future of creativity and innovation in the age of AI.
Deep questions.
Yeah, and we'll be exploring these questions in more detail throughout this deep dive.
Well, you're good.
Looking at different viewpoints and considering the broader implications of Balaji's story.
Okay. You know, Balaji's concerns really highlight a crucial point. We often marvel at the capabilities of AI, but we sometimes forget that these systems are built on a foundation of human creativity. These AI models, as impressive as they are, don't just magically appear. They need massive amounts of data to learn and develop.
Right. It's easy to get caught up in the excitement of what AI can do, but we need to remember that these models are learning by absorbing the work of countless artists, writers, musicians, programmers, essentially the collective creative output of humanity.
Exactly. And that's where the potential for conflict arises. If an AI is trained on copyrighted material, can it then produce outputs that are so similar to the original works that it infringes on the creator's rights?
It's like the AI is learning to speak by reading all the books in the library, but what happens when it starts writing its own books that sound a lot like the ones it learned from?
Exactly. And that's why the legal battles surrounding AI and copyright are so significant. They're trying to determine where the line is between inspiration and outright copying, between fair use and infringement.
So let's dive into one of these legal battles, the lawsuit filed by the New York Times against OpenAI. This one seems to be getting a lot of attention.
It is, and for good reason. The New York Times is alleging that OpenAI used their copyrighted articles to train its models without permission, and that this use goes beyond fair use, constituting copyright infringement.
So the Times is arguing that OpenAI essentially stole their content to build its AI systems.
Yeah, in a nutshell, yes. The lawsuit claims that OpenAI's actions have resulted in the creation of AI-generated content that competes directly with the Times' own reporting, potentially harming their business.
Right, and this is a really interesting case because it directly addresses the concerns that Balaji raised the potential for AI to undermine the livelihoods of creators.
And what makes this case even more poignant is that Balaji himself was named in a court filing just one day before his passing, OpenAI even agreed to search his files for anything related to his copyright concerns.
It's almost as if his voice is still being heard even in his absence.
His story is a reminder that these aren't just abstract legal debates. They have real-world consequences for creators, for companies, for the future of AI development.
So speaking of the future of AI development, we've talked about the concerns, but let's not forget about the immense potential of this technology.
Absolutely. AI has the power to revolutionize countless fields, from healthcare and education to transportation and entertainment.
It can help us solve complex problems, automate tasks, and create new forms of art and expression. It's a tool that can amplify human capabilities in ways we're only beginning to imagine.
And it's important to remember that the vast majority of people working in AI are driven by a desire to create a better future, to use these technologies for good.
Exactly. So the question is, how do we balance this potential with the very real concerns about copyright infringement, job displacement, and the potential for misuse?
It's a delicate balancing act. We need to embrace the potential of AI while also establishing clear, ethical guidelines and legal frameworks that protect the rights of creators and ensure responsible development.
So it's not about demonizing AI or halting progress. It's about having open and honest conversations about the challenges and opportunities this technology presents.
And about learning from the voices of those who, like Balaji, have the courage to raise concerns and challenge the status quo.
Right. So let's shift our focus for a moment to the impact Balaji's story has had on the AI community and the public at large.
There's been a huge outpouring of grief and reflection since his passing.
Yeah, a lot of people have taken to social media to share their condolences, memories of Balaji, and reflections on the issues he raised.
And it's clear that his loss has deeply affected those who knew him and those who are inspired by his insights.
His story has also sparked broader conversations about the pressures faced by those working in the tech industry, particularly in fields as rapidly evolving and demanding as AI.
It's a reminder that behind the code and the algorithms are real people with their own hopes, fears, and vulnerabilities.
The tech industry, for all its talk of disruption and innovation, can be a very demanding and sometimes unforgiving environment.
The long hours, the pressure to innovate, the constant need to stay ahead of the curve, it can all take a toll on mental health and well-being.
Absolutely. And Balaji's story serves as a wake-up call, urging us to prioritize the well-being of those working in tech and to create more supportive and humane work environments.
We need to move beyond the myth of the superhuman tech genius and recognize that even the brightest minds need support and understanding.
Right. Burnout, anxiety, and depression are real issues in the tech industry, and we need to address them with compassion and proactive solutions.
Balaji's story serves as a reminder that success in tech shouldn't come at the cost of personal well-being. We need to create a culture that values balance, encourages open communication about mental health, and provides resources and support to those who are struggling.
And it's also a reminder that the pursuit of technological advancement shouldn't eclipse our concern for human well-being.
We need to find a way to balance the drive for innovation with the need to create a more just, equitable, and humane world.
Balaji's story is a call for greater empathy, a plea to recognize the human cost of technological progress.
So now let's delve into some of the broader implications of Balaji's story for the future of AI development. What lessons can we learn from his experiences and concerns?
I think one of the most important takeaways is the need for ethical considerations in AI development. Balaji's story highlights the importance of having thoughtful and critical discussions about the potential consequences of this technology.
We need to move beyond the hype and the excitement surrounding AI and grapple with the real-world implications of these powerful tools. What are the potential benefits and risks? How can we ensure that AI is used for good, not for harm?
Right. These are crucial questions that we need to address collectively through open and transparent dialogue.
And we need to establish clear ethical guidelines for AI development and use guidelines that prioritize human well-being, fairness, and accountability.
It's not enough to simply create powerful AI systems. We need to ensure that those systems are aligned with our values and serve the best interests of humanity.
Balaji's story also underscores the importance of transparency in AI development.
Right. We need to understand how these systems work, what data they're trained on, and what potential biases they might exhibit.
Black box AI, where the inner workings are opaque even to the developers, can lead to unintended consequences.
We need to be able to audit these systems, understand their decision-making processes, and hold them accountable for their actions.
And we need to ensure that the public is informed about the capabilities and limitations of AI so that they can make informed decisions about its use.
Right. Balaji's story is a reminder that AI development shouldn't happen in a vacuum.
It needs to be a collaborative process involving diverse perspectives and taking into account the needs and concerns of all stakeholders.
And his concerns about copyright infringement highlight the importance of protecting intellectual property rights in the age of AI. We need to find a way to balance the need for training data with the rights of creators to control their work.
This might involve developing new legal frameworks or licensing agreements that specifically address the use of copyrighted material in AI training.
We need to make sure that AI development doesn't come at the expense of human creativity.
Another crucial aspect highlighted by Balaji's story is the role of human oversight in AI development as these systems become more sophisticated. It's tempting to believe that they can operate autonomously.
But Balaji's concerns remind us that AI is not infallible. It can be biased, make mistakes, and be used for malicious purposes.
Human oversight is essential to ensure that AI is used responsibly and ethically.
We need to establish clear lines of accountability for AI systems and ensure that there are mechanisms for human intervention when necessary.
We need to be wary of delegating too much power to these systems without proper safeguards. Balaji's story is a call for greater humility in the face of technological advancement.
It reminds us that we're still grappling with the implications of this powerful technology, and we need to proceed with caution and a deep sense of responsibility.
His legacy is a challenge to us all to use our ingenuity and collective wisdom to shape the future of AI in a way that benefits all of humanity.
And to remember that behind every line of code, every algorithm, every technological breakthrough are human stories, hopes, fears, and dreams.
Let's not forget that as we venture into this uncharted territory of artificial intelligence.
Okay, before we move on, I'd like to circle back to one of Balaji's most significant contributions to the field of AI, his work on WebGPT.
Right, WebGPT was a groundbreaking project. It was a precursor to the now widely used Search GPT, and a significant leap forward in the development of language models that can access and process information from the vast expanse of the internet.
Yeah, Balaji played a key role in developing WebGPT, which involved training a language model to effectively search the web and provide comprehensive answers to user queries, all while citing its sources.
It was a complex undertaking, but Balaji and his team successfully created a system that could navigate the vast and often chaotic world of online information, extract relevant data, and present it in a clear and concise manner.
And it was a major step towards creating AI systems that can truly understand and interact with the world around us.
Systems that can learn from the collective knowledge of humanity and help us navigate the ever-growing sea of information.
It's fascinating to consider that Balaji, who later raised concerns about the potential for AI to stifle creativity and infringe on copyright, was also instrumental in developing a technology that relies so heavily on the vast repository of human knowledge and expression available online.
It speaks to the complexity of his thinking and his deep understanding of the ethical dilemmas surrounding AI development. He wasn't simply opposed to AI, he was deeply concerned about its potential misuse and the need to develop it responsibly.
Yeah, his work on WebGPT, while groundbreaking, also served as a reminder of the vast amount of data, much of it copyrighted, that these AI systems require to function.
It underscores the fact that the development of AI is inextricably linked to the world of human creation, and that we need to find a way to navigate this relationship ethically and responsibly.
Balaji's story in many ways embodies the complexities of the AI era. He was both a pioneer and a critic, a brilliant mind who both shaped the technology and raised concerns about its potential impact.
And his legacy is a challenge to us all to embrace the potential of AI while remaining mindful of its limitations, to pursue innovation while upholding ethical principles, and to create a future where technology serves humanity, not the other way around.
It's interesting, as we've been discussing Balaji's concerns about using copyrighted material to train AI, it's made me realize this issue goes beyond just the legal aspects of AI development. It touches on a much larger question about how we as a society approach and manage rapid technological advancements. We often get so focused on the shiny new capabilities of these technologies that we sometimes forget to step back and consider their broader impact on our world.
You're absolutely right. We often get caught up in the what of technology, like what it can do, without fully considering the why and the how. And Balaji's story is such a stark reminder that we need to be more thoughtful and deliberate in how we develop and deploy these powerful tools, especially as they become even more sophisticated and integrated into our lives.
Yeah, it's about asking those tough questions early on, like what are the potential downsides, who might be negatively affected, how can we minimize those risks, and maybe most importantly, what values are we embedding into these technologies?
Because technology isn't inherently neutral. It reflects the biases, the priorities, even the worldviews of the people who create it.
Exactly. And if we're not careful, we could end up with technologies that actually worsen existing inequalities or even threaten our future.
Balaji's concerns about using copyrighted material to train AI perfectly encapsulate this. We're essentially asking ourselves, can we leverage the collective creative output of humanity to build these powerful new tools without jeopardizing the very foundation of that creativity?
It's a question that goes beyond copyright law. It gets to the heart of what it means to be human, to create, to express ourselves.
Absolutely.
And finding the answers won't be easy.
Right.
But Balaji's story offers us some valuable insights. He demonstrated tremendous courage by speaking up, even though he was working at one of the most prestigious AI labs in the world, surrounded by these brilliant minds.
Yeah. He wasn't afraid to challenge the status quo, to point out those potential dangers, even if it meant risking his own career. He recognized both the incredible potential of AI and those inherent risks, and he felt a responsibility to voice his concerns.
It's such a powerful example, especially in a field that's often characterized by intense competition and a move fast and break things mentality. Balaji reminds us that real progress isn't always about speed. Sometimes it demands that we pause, reflect, question what we believe to be true.
And to be humble enough to admit that we don't have all the answers.
Yeah.
We need to be open to different perspectives, to those who disagree with us.
Right.
And even entertain the possibility that we might be wrong.
That's a lesson that we can all take to heart, regardless of our field of expertise, whether we're developing AI systems, shaping policy, or simply engaging with these technologies as users. That critical mindset is essential. Yeah. It's about being willing to ask those difficult, uncomfortable questions, the ones that make us confront the ethical implications of our choices. And it's about truly listening to those who might disagree with us, particularly those who could be negatively impacted by the decisions we make.
Because the future of AI isn't something that will be decided solely by researchers, engineers, or corporations. It's a future that we will all shape together through our individual and collective choices, actions, and ongoing dialogues.
Balaji's story reminds us that we have the power to influence the direction of technological development, and it's a responsibility we should take seriously.
We need to work towards ensuring that AI is used to build a future that is just equitable and benefits all of humanity.
Absolutely. So as we conclude this deep dive, we want to turn to you, our listener. What resonates with you most from Balaji's story? What questions are you still pondering? How do you envision AI shaping your life, your work, your community in the years ahead? And importantly, what role do you want to play in shaping that future?
Because as we've learned from Balaji, the future isn't preordained. It's something we create together through our choices, our actions, our engagement.
So don't be a passive observer. Participate in the conversation, question, explore, and make your voice heard. The future of AI is in our hands.
And as we close, we'd like to leave you with one final thought. Be bold, be curious, and above all, be human. Because in this era of transformative technology, it is our humanity, our values, and our compassion that will guide us toward a future where technology truly serves humanity rather than the other way around.
Thank you for joining us on this deep dive. We hope it's given you much to consider.